early playtesting. Check it out.
Who said that?
But first, welcome to
What are you
Portland.
doing, Mom?
JD is here. We will start our presentation in just a moment.
Invested. All of this about
All right, let me share my screen.
This is what you need to listen to, Ellie.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, can this program be recorded?
It is being recorded, yes.
Okay, can it be shared to us at the
Yes.
end of the program?
Yes, it will be on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, because I may not stay till the end of the program. I'm going to work.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be happy to send you the link to the program.
Okay, okay. My name is still.
Okay. All right. My name is JD Wyzolek, and I am the founder of azcollegeplan.com. I've been in this space helping students get into college and getting some amazing scholarships since August of 2007, so 18, almost 19 years now. I like to call this title of this talk, "You don't know what you don't know about college, but what you really need to know about college," or "How to Not Go Broke Paying for College." It all starts with the college ranking system. And you've probably seen these different publications. US News and World Report, Best Colleges is probably the most prevalent of these college ranking publications. Money Magazine, Forbes has one. There's a dozen or more of these college ranking publications. And you've probably heard this college is ranked #1 in biology, and this college is ranked number 17 in engineering. You've probably heard those different things. The college ranking system is very important to the college. So let's explore why. Have you asked yourself, why would a college give out any scholarships? Is it because they're kind and generous, or is it because they want or need a specific student? And the answer is they need a specific student. Colleges ask this question of every applicant: how will the student impact our rankings? And if it's negative, they're going to reject the student. If it's neutral, well, maybe we'll admit the student and maybe we'll give them a teaser scholarship. But if it's positive, then they're going to bend over backwards and do whatever they can to recruit that student and offer incentives. And the incentives that we want are scholarships. Whenever there is an upward trend in any category that's ranked, that attracts attention. More attention means more applications and more application fees. I love the rivalries that go on between certain colleges, ASU and U of A, and UCLA and Berkeley is another college rivalry. It's all fun. But this last year, UCLA knocked Berkeley off the podium and became the #1 public national university. Because of that, that attracted a lot of attention. And that attention was 149,000 applications for about 7,000 freshman seats. So when you do the math on that, it's $80 to apply, by the way, for UCLA. And other colleges, it might be $35, it might be $100. But at UCLA, it's $80 to apply. So $80 times 145,000 is $11.6 million that was generated just in application fees. Now you know that colleges are big business. And now that you know this, you can position yourself to win. Because application fees bring in tens of millions of dollars, colleges will do whatever they can to manipulate their rankings. So I want to tell you Lynn's story. When Lynn and her dad came into the office for the free consultation, and I'll offer you an option for you to come in for a free consultation as well. When Lynn and her dad came in, I asked this question, and I'll ask you the same question, and that is, do you have any dream schools? What colleges are you thinking about? And Lynn's dad said, she's going to NAU because that's all I can afford. And I said, let's play the game. And part of playing the game is applying to a variety of different colleges and applying to somewhere between 6 and 15 colleges. Not too many and not too few. Well, we helped her identify a handful of colleges, and I don't remember how many colleges she applied to. It might have been 7 or 8. And she was admitted to about 5 of them. And of the 5, 2 of them fell off the wayside for one reason or another. And it came down to these 3 colleges: Willamette University in Oregon, Whitman College in Washington, and of course, NAU. Well, the first college that admitted her was Willamette University, and they gave her $25,500 in scholarships per year. And Dad's net cost was about $20,000. Lynn was on cloud 9 for days. Dad, not quite so much. We still got a huge bill there. The next college that admitted her was NAU, and after scholarships and everything, Dad's net cost was $10,650. Dad says I could do that. I'd rather not, but I could do that. And then the last college that admitted her was Whitman College in Washington, and they offered her $40,750 in scholarships. Dad's net cost was $5,000 per year. Here's what's super awesome about that. Not only did Lynn get this amazing scholarship package, she got it for all 4 years that she was at that college. Yes, she had to maintain a minimum GPA to renew her aid package, but she did get that for all 4 years. And what's super awesome is she got this aid package, and it covered 2 study abroads. She did one in Peru and one in Japan. So the question is, why did they give her that amazing scholarship package? Why did the college give her that? Because the college needed her. She had a positive impact on one or more categories that was ranked and valued by the college. Yes, she had good grades, and she had some good test scores and that. But one of the categories was girl going into a mostly male-dominated major. Don't ask me which one it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. Another category was Arizona kid going to this college in the state of Washington. So now that college can go back to the ranking publications and say, we have geographic diversity. We got kids from here, there, we got kids from all over. And we even have students from Arizona. So in the case study of Lynn, we asked the question, what does the college value? And then we showed her how to present herself that way. We showed her which activities to be involved with in school, what clubs to get involved with, what we showed her how to properly market herself to the colleges. And we helped her with her essays. We helped her identify colleges that she would stand out. We showed her how to properly demonstrate interest and all that stuff. She did all those things, and the result was amazing. And I've got a lot more examples of that. So we're going to learn several acronyms. And one of the acronyms we're going to learn is COA, cost of attendance. And when we talk about the cost of attendance, it incorporates everything. It's going to be tuition, room and board, meal plan, parking pass, student ID card, books, the whole gambit. We want to know what that all-in number is. And in the case of ASU, Arizona State University, in-state costs at ASU for 1 year is $37,354. Now, if you're looking at any of the other in-state colleges, U of A or NAU, they all have similar in-state COA costs. NAU is a little bit less, but it's negligible on that. Okay, if your student is interested in the honors programs, so U of A honors, NAU honors, or ASU Barrett honors program, you can add more dollars on top of that. Now you're looking at $39,000 per year. Here's what I encourage you to do is go and visit some colleges. Go visit go visit colleges that are within a 50 or 75-mile radius of where you live. So here in Maricopa County, we've got 3 colleges. We've got ASU, we've got Grand Canyon University, and we've got Arizona Christian University. The reason why I'm encouraging students and families who live in Maricopa County to go visit those 3 colleges is it's not a big time or money commitment. So if the college is within a 50-mile radius, it's not going to take you very long to drive there, maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes, and then a couple hours on the tour. So not a big time or money commitment. And then the 3 schools are 3 very different types of colleges. We've got ASU, which is a large public school. We've got Grand Canyon University, which is a mid-size private college. And then we've got Arizona Christian University, which is a small college. When you visit Arizona Christian University, look at it through 2 lenses. The first lens to look at it is going to be the size of the school. It's a small college at about 1,000 students. And then look at it through the second lens, which is going to be the religious lens. They do have some religious requirements at that particular college. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because when you do go to San Diego or you go to Chicago or New York to visit some colleges, now you've got something that you can weigh, balance, compare, and contrast, okay? When you visit a college the very first time, or when you visit any college, if you don't walk away with the impression of, wow, that college is amazing, I want to go there, know that they did a bad job. That's their job to sell you on their college, okay? One of the categories that's ranked that I think is one of the most ridiculous categories is most expensive college. And Harvey Mudd College in California is ranked as one of the most expensive colleges. And Harvey Mudd is hovering around $98,984 for 1 year. So private colleges can pop that high 90s, maybe even 100,000 per year number. If you really want to scare yourself, do this. Go to the college's website and in the search bar, type in cost of attendance. It'll bring you to that page, and some of them add it for you. If not, pull out your calculator, add those numbers together. And here's how you'll scare yourself. Take that number, that 1 year number, and then multiply it times 4 years. And then multiply it again times the number of kids you've got, 2 kids, 3 kids, etc. And that's enough to give anybody a coronary right there. And have you asked yourself, how in the world are we going to be able to afford it? How are we going to pay for it? And I've literally talked to thousands of families, and these are some ideas that they've told me as ways to pay for college. And these might be some things that you might be thinking about as well. And the first one that comes up is private scholarships. My kid's going to get a private scholarship. So let's put a definition on what private scholarship means. That's a scholarship that your student applies for and wins. So if your student gets an email or a letter that says, congratulations, you've won a scholarship, and your student did not apply for it, it's a scam. Especially if that letter says, mail us $100 and we'll tell you which one you've won. That is absolutely a scam. So first is their student has to apply for it. And then if your student wins that private scholarship, it's portable. They could take it over to NAU. They could take it over to the University of San Diego. They could take it over to Texas A&M. It's portable that way. Versus if your student won the Wildcat Scholarship at U of A, that's only usable at U of A. So private scholarships are portable. Now, of the $135 billion of aid that's available, less than 2% of that consists of private scholarships. Everybody wants to go after these pennies when they're ignoring where the real money is. And the real money is going to be in these three categories. The first category is federal funds. And there are some programs that are very generous with financial aid under the federal formula that your student could use for college. Second category is state funds. We want to maximize federal funds. We want to maximize state funds. And then the third category, which is the big kahuna of the three, and that is going to be the college endowment funds. There are some colleges that are rich, and there are other colleges that are flat uber rich. And one of the wealthiest college, or the number one wealthiest college, is Harvard. Harvard has over $45 billion in their endowment. The interest that that account produces is enough to give every Harvard student a full ride. Does Harvard do that? Absolutely not. So I want to go after the big money, and that's going to be money that's in the college's endowment funds. The next strategy as a way to pay for college that parents have told me is, my kid's an athlete, my kid's going to get an athletic scholarship. And I'm sorry to tell you this, if your student is not the next NFL, NBA, or the next Olympian, the likelihood of getting a full athletic ride, probably not going to happen. Okay. And for some sports, they have colleges have a limited amount of money that they're going to give out in certain sports. For example, baseball, the average, and you can go to the NCAA's website and you can read this, the average men's baseball scholarship is $13,000. That's way short of the total cost of attendance. Now, sometimes what these colleges will do is they'll split those athletic scholarships. So we have $13,000, but we're going to split it between two, or maybe we're going to split it between 3 or 4 students and kind of spread the money around a little bit. So even if we did get that full $13,000, in the case of ASU, where's the remaining $25,000 going to come from? Or in the case of Harvey Mudd, where's the remaining $85,000 going to come from? Another strategy that parents have told me as a way to pay for college is we've saved some money. And I read a statistic that the average family has saved $10,000 for college. If you save this or more than this, then God bless you, you're better than the average. But if you did save it, how are we going to make 10 grand go where 100 or 400,000 actually should? And the question is, if you did save some money, how does the financial aid system look at it? There are 3 buckets of money in the financial aid system. The first bucket of money is money that is listed in the student's name. That gets assessed at the highest percentage, anywhere from 20 to 25%. The second category, or the second bucket, is money that's in the parent's name, and that gets assessed at a lower percentage at about 6%. Then there's a third bucket, and that third bucket has an umbrella over it, and that umbrella is the retirement system. And anything that is parked in a retirement financial aid product, any money that is parked in a retirement product is not counted in the financial aid system. So we want the bulk of our money to be in that that third not assessed bucket. Sometimes just by rolling over who the owner is, no, the student's not the owner, the parent is the owner, or moving from one product to another financial product, we could potentially qualify for more need-based financial aid. I had a family who had a 529 savings account, and they had $40,000 saved up in that account for college. And their student was admitted to a prestigious college in California. And as soon as the college found out that they had a 529 of $40,000, that college said, tag, that's my money, I want it. and they actually split it into quarters. 25% the first year, 25% the second year, 10 grand the first year, 10 grand the second year, 10 the third, 10 the fourth, all $40,000 over the course of 4 years. What that college did was they actually reduced the aid package by $10,000. Again, sometimes by moving money around or moving who the owner is, we might qualify for more aid. Here's my disclaimer on that. Before you move money around or any of that stuff, you have to know what the ramifications are, both positive and negative. Sometimes it's smart to move money around, sometimes it's not. Each family situation is unique and different. If you want to talk about your family specific situation and all that, please sign up for the free, no obligation college consultation. I'll be happy to inform you about that stuff. Another way and strategy that parents have told me as a way to pay for college is we're going to pay as we go. And because of the new one big beautiful bill that the current administration just passed, one of the things that they've done is they've capped the amount of loans that educational loans that parents can take. So because of this new cap, and I'm not sure when that's going to go into effect, if that's going to go into effect in July or maybe a couple of years later, I'm not sure. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that to see when that happens and how it will impact college. And whatever way it does go, I will be sure to let everyone know when I find that out. But because there's a potential new cap on the amount of federal parent educational loans that they'll allow, a lot of colleges are going to start offering payment plans. And there are some colleges that have payment plans already, and some colleges are going to charge fees for the payment plans. Again, I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of all this to track all that. Another strategy that parents have told me as a way to pay for college is we're going to borrow the money. And currently, as I mentioned, there is no cap right now. So theoretically, if your student was admitted to Stanford at $95,000 per year, and if that student did not receive any scholarships or grants, Stanford would offer to the student $5,500 in a student loan, and then the remaining $93,500 to the parent in a Parent Plus loan. Please don't do that. But I want to tell you what some colleges have done. I had another family who came in, and they came in for the free consultation, and they wanted to know what the heck they were about to sign for. When your student applies to a college, you're going to get 2 notifications from the college. The first notification that you'll get from the college is the acceptance letter. And the acceptance letter is going to say, congratulations, you're admitted. Or it'll say, sorry, you're not admitted. If it's sorry, you're not admitted, there's still some strategies that we can employ to try and reverse that. Sometimes on the acceptance letter, it might state on there, we're giving you $1,000 in scholarships or whatever. That's not the final offer. They'll send out a second letter, and that second letter is called the award letter or the award offering. And the award
Excuse me?
offering,
Excuse me,
yes,
can I go now?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, please.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the award offering is going to list all the things that are offered by the college. It's going to be scholarships, grants, loans, etc. And this family came in, they were showing me the award letter, and they wanted to know what the heck they were about to sign for. And they were really, really excited because it said, and some colleges are devious with their wording on the award letter, because it said on there $25,000 PLUS. And they're like, woo, we got a $25,000 scholarship. And I said, I'm sorry, no, that is not a scholarship, that is a loan. And I'm happy to report they didn't go that route. In fact, if you go to my website and click on the testimonials, Courtney graduated from a private college. She graduated 100% debt free, and the parents did not take on any educational loans either. That's exactly where we want our students to start their life, is without excessive student loan baggage. The next strategy as a way to pay for college is use the equity in your home. I won't go into details on that, but you can figure that one out. And the last strategy is tap retirement accounts or liquidate retirement accounts. Please don't do that, because retirement accounts are for retirement. And I always say, don't throw out a college based only on the sticker price. So you can look at an in-state school and go, oh, this college is only, $30,000, and an out-of-state college or a private college is going to be 60, 70, 80, maybe even $90,000. And that, don't throw out a college based on the sticker price. Why? Because private colleges know that they must compete with in-state costs. And if a college really wants a certain student, because that student will have a positive impact on their rankings, the college will make it financially viable for you and your student to attend that college by offering scholarships. And this is where we excel at AZ College Planning, by helping students and showing students how to properly present themselves, to market themselves to those colleges. We'll show them how to properly demonstrate interest, how to write amazing essays, and which colleges to consider applying to, all of that stuff, and use that as leverage to get into the best college that your student can get into and get the best aid package possible. A very important question to ask each of the colleges that your student is going to apply to and potentially attend is, what is the average timeline for students to graduate from your college? How long is it going to take my kid to graduate from your school? And the average graduation timeline at a public college is 6 years. If you go to my website, azcollegeplanning.com, click on the college results button, type in the name of the college, and it'll give you this information. And the average student, so 66% of the students graduate from ASU in 6 years. Why? Why is it taking these students so long graduating in 6 years instead of 4 years? And one of the reasons is because a student applies for and tries to get into a class. I need to get into this 100 level class before I can get into the 150 or the 200 level class. And that class is full. And if that class is not offered on a regular basis, then they have to wait till that cycle comes back around. And sometimes those classes are only offered once a year. That's one reason. And I have a strategy that we can talk about later on how to get into those classes that are full. But that's one reason. The most prevalent reason why it's taking students 6 years to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree instead of 4 years is because they flip-flop between majors. This week I'm a biology major. No, next week I'm going to be architecture major. That sounds fun. No, I'm back over here. I'm going to do philosophy. No, I'm undeclared. Every time a student changes majors, that pushes the graduation window out further and further. So one of the things that we do at AZ College Planning is we help students identify what major and what career to study in college, so that when they do go to college, they're solidified. Yes, this is the direction I want to go into. And you're more likely to graduate in 4 years instead of 6. And that is a huge money savings. And we do that with our award-winning career assessment tool. I'll plug your student into our career assessment tool, and it's going to ask questions. Do you like to do this? Do you like to do that? And your student will answer those questions, and it will generate a list of occupations. And then your student will click on and save the occupation. And then it will generate a list of majors. And then you click on and you save the major. And then it will generate a list of colleges and we'll make our recommendations. These are the colleges we think you should apply to because you have a higher probability of admission and a higher probability of scholarships. There are a lot of really good career assessment tools that are available. The question that always comes up is, I have this list of occupations that I'm considering. What do I do next? And that's something that we came up with at azcollegeplanning.com is we came up with an 11-step process on how to research any occupation so that when your student does go through those 11 steps, your student will be very solidified. Yes, this is the direction I want to go into, and they will stick with that major and graduate in 4 years or less. Here's my story. That's me. That's my high school senior picture. I walked into my guidance counselor's office in my senior year, and I walked into her tiny office. Hi, Miss Nuss. And she says, hi, JD, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Go ahead and sit down. I sat down, and she says, JD, you are a good artist. You should be an art major. Okay, thank you. And that was how much time I spent with my guidance counselor, all of what, 30 seconds, a minute. No offense to any guidance counselors that are overworked and overbooked. Well, I went home and I thought about it for all about 47 seconds. And I thought, I got to do something else. I don't want to be a starving artist. And at that time, I discovered graphic design. Ooh, yeah, I'll be a graphic designer. That's cool. I'll do that. And also in my senior year, early in my senior year of high school, I was talking with a friend who was a freshman in college at Biola University in Los Angeles. And he says, JD, you got to come to this college. It's so awesome. We have the most amazing beach bonfire parties. And they were good, fun parties. And the girls here are super cute. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. And I said, do they have a graphics department? And he says, yeah. And I said, dude, I'm in. And that's how much thought went into me picking my career major in college and all that stuff. What ended up happening, and I really recommend this for your student, the positive side, not the negative side. And the positive side is I got an internship. The negative side is I waited until my junior year to get an internship. I encourage your students to look for internships in their freshman year of college or even earlier while they're still in high school. Well, I got a internship at a graphics house, and I discovered I don't want to do this the rest of my life, and I had to reset. So with AZ College Planning, we're going to help your student identify that career so that they can graduate in 4 years or less. So let's move on to the financial aid forms. And you probably have heard of the FAFSA form. I'm not going to go into all the details on this. There's lots of tutorials that are available on the FAFSA. There's the FAFSA, and then there's a second financial aid form called the CSS profile. The primary differences between the FAFSA and the CSS is the FAFSA and the CSS asks all the same questions that are on the FAFSA form. The FAFSA is a static form. Colleges cannot add or subtract questions. And then the FAFSA, there is no fee to submit it. Hence the name, Free Application for Federal Student Aid. The CSS profile asks all the same questions on the FAFSA form. And then it also, in the supplemental section, colleges can ask whatever question they want. So one of the questions in the supplemental section on the CSS profile that MIT asks, and MIT does require the CSS profile, MIT's supplemental question on the CSS profile is, what's your kid's cell phone number? Why do you want to know what my student's cell phone number is on a financial aid form? I have a conspiracy theory for that. If the college is asking for your kid's cell phone number on a financial aid form, please instruct your student to say, I don't know, or 0. Okay. The other major difference, one of the other questions on supplemental questions on the CSS profile is,
Question,
yes, sir?
you said if they ask you your phone number on CSS profile, you said
Yeah.
no, zero.
If they ask for your student's number, for your
Okay.
kid's phone number, yeah, then you'll still need to put it in there, but make sure that your student says, I don't know. If the college asks the student any financial questions, how much do your parents make? I don't know. Do your parents have a bank account? I don't know. Do they have
Okay,
a retirement account? I don't know.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So, one of the other supplemental questions on the CSS profile from some colleges is, what's the make, model, and year of your vehicles? JD, why are they asking me that question? Because if you put on there that you have a 2026 Bentley and you're telling them that your adjusted gross income is $50,000, they're going to say those two numbers don't match. Then they're going to start asking more questions and stuff. The other major difference between the CSS and the FAFSA is there is a fee to submit the FAFSA form, and it is $25 for the first college and $16 for each additional school. So if we do the math on that, if your student is applying to 2 colleges that require it, it's going to be $41. Okay. I've had some families that have strong high incomes, and sometimes they'll say, we make too much money to qualify for need-based financial aid. Why should we fill out these forms? And the answer is, it's another way to demonstrate interest. Let me tell you another story. I've got a lot of stories to tell, and this one's about John. When John and his dad came into the office, John's dad eventually hired us to help him with this whole process. And we helped John with it, showed him how to properly market himself to the colleges, showed him what to write and which colleges to apply to. And I don't remember which college it was. It was one of the 2 George schools in Washington, D.C. It was either George Washington University or it was Georgetown University, which is predominantly a need-based financial aid school. And Dad says, we make too much money to qualify for aid. Why should we fill this out? And I said, it's another way to demonstrate interest. I think we should fill it out, and we will help you fill this out. So here's John's dad's numbers. He made $1.5 million. That was his income. He had $6 million in his checking account, which blows my mind. Why would you have $6 million in your checking account earning 1% or 0.5%? Move it somewhere where you can get, anyway. And then he had a brokerage account. He had $10 million in the brokerage account. He owned several $1 million homes with no mortgage, had those free and clear. And so just a very wealthy family. So based on those numbers, he's not going to get any need-based financial aid at any college. And I said, let's play the game and submit the forms. The end of the story is that college really liked John, and they offered him a half scholarship of $30,000. And they really liked Dad because they looked at Dad and said, he might be a future donor. So do play the game, and playing the game is submitting to the colleges, whatever it is that they're asking for. I won't tell you the name of the college. I'll just give you their initials, USC. So USC is notorious for rejecting students who do not give USC everything that they're asking for. And USC does ask for both the FAFSA and the CSS profile financial aid form. And the reason why USC does that is because they want to know, if we admit your student, can mom and dad pay? So wait for it. The number one way to get more money from a college is apply to 6 to 15 colleges and then negotiate. If you ask a college if they will negotiate, they will flat out tell you, no, we do not negotiate. Here's another story about Danielle. When Danielle and her parents came into the office, it was early on in her sophomore year of high school. And they ended up hiring us to help her with this whole process. And I asked Danielle and her parents, have you visited any colleges? And they said, no, we haven't. And Dad says, we're going down to Tucson for a family vacation. What if we take a little bit of time and go and visit U of A while we're down there? And I said, yes, let's do that. And they did go and tour U of A. After the tour, Danielle and I had a conversation, and Danielle said, that college is amazing. I want to go there. That's the only college I'm going to apply to. That's my number one, my favorite college. I want to go there. And I encouraged her and begged and said, please apply to more than one college. And she did. And I don't remember how many schools she was applied to, but she got into most of them. And some colleges are notorious for lowballing scholarships at the beginning. And U of A is one of those colleges. We knew that she was going to get admitted to U of A. She had the minimum grades and all that. And according to my numbers and my calculations, she should have been offered some form of scholarships. Dad calls me up and said, I want to let you know that Danielle was admitted to U of A, and we got the award package, and they did not give her any scholarships at all. I don't want to pay full price. I don't want to pay $35,000, $36,000 for her to go to college per year. What do we do? And I asked, what other colleges was she admitted to? And he says, oh, she got admitted here, she got admitted there. I said, did any of those other colleges offer her some scholarship money? And she says, oh, he says, yes, NAU offered her some scholarship money. I said, awesome. Take that award letter and go down to U of A and say, NAU gave me this. What can you guys do? And not only did U of A beat the aid package that NAU offered, they also gave Danielle an iPad. Danielle was really excited about the iPad. Dad was more excited about the scholarships and stuff. And again, if you ask the college if they negotiate, they're going to tell you no. The worst thing any student can do is apply to one college. Because if they apply to one college and they are admitted to that one college, then that college doesn't have to do anything to get that student to attend their college. If that one college now has to compete with 3 or 4 or 5 or more colleges, then that college must offer some form of incentive, and the incentives that we want are scholarships. Here's some examples of our results. McConnell got admitted to NYU. He was offered $65,820 in scholarships per year. Parents' net cost $8,914. McConnell applied to 9 colleges. He was admitted to all of them. And we showed him how to market himself to those colleges, what clubs to be involved with. We showed him how to write his essay and helped and edited his essay, all that stuff. And he got into all those colleges. And out of all of them, NYU offered the best aid package. If we multiply that times 4 years, he got $263,280 in scholarships over the course of 4 years. He did the work, he was coachable, and he followed through, and he got these amazing results. I love to talk about this story and ask this question. Rohit was admitted to a college in Texas. And the question I like to ask is, what is good? Good is being admitted to the college. What's better than good? Getting a scholarship to go to that college. What's better than that? Getting a full tuition scholarship. When you talk to your friends or other students and they tell you they got a full ride at ASU or NAU, be very skeptical. What they probably got is full tuition, which is about $12,000. So when we look at the sticker price of being about $35,000, $36,000, $37,000, subtract $12,000 scholarship from that, we still have a $25,000, $26,000 gap. What's better than getting a full tuition scholarship? Of course, getting the coveted full ride. And when a student earns and wins the full ride scholarship, what mom and dad pay for is transportation, an airline ticket to fly to that college, wherever it might be, or some other form of transportation, gas money, or a train or a bus or something like that. What's better than getting a full ride? This example here. And I'll just read it to you. All tuition and mandatory fees for 4 years, $4,000 per semester and cash stipend, $1,500 per semester on-campus housing stipend, and up to $6,000 one-time study abroad scholarship. If we add all that together and then subtract that from the cost of attendance at this college in Texas, he was netting $3,000 per year. What is better than getting a full ride? Getting paid to go to college. If that is something that your student is would like or is aspiring to try and get, please let's have a conversation. There are certain things that your student can do now to put this all in motion before they apply to colleges. Here's another example. Nicole went to WashU, $45,465 in scholarships. Parents net cost 11 grand. Multiply that times 4 years, $181,000 is what she got over the course of 4 years. She did the work, she was coachable, and she followed through. And we did some things behind the scenes to make her look more needy so that she would qualify for more need-based financial aid. Bruce got admitted to Notre Dame, $51,000 in scholarships. Dad's net cost 13 grand. And Bruce's dad said he thought that my tagline, it could be cheaper to go to an out-of-state college than attend an in-state college, was just a sales pitch until we did it for his son. And then we did it again for his daughter. It was less expensive for Bruce to attend Notre Dame than it would have been for him to go to an in-state college. And when we multiply that over the course of 4 years, $204,000 is what he got over that time. And he was also in marching band, really enjoyed marching band while he was there. Got a marching band scholarship on top of that. And like I said, we did it again for his sister. She got even more money, $216,820 over the course of 4 years to go to TCU. She did the work, she was coachable, and she followed through. But JD, are all of these students super brainiacs, have high GPAs, 4.0s, have amazing SAT scores, perfect 1600s, or perfect 36 on their ACT scores? Are they all super brainiac students? And the answer is no. Here's an example of Elle, and she was admitted to Spring Hill College in Alabama, and it was less expensive for her to go to this private college out of state than it would have been for her to go in state. And she got a leadership scholarship. She got some other scholarships. She even got an academic scholarship for her 2.3 GPA. When we added all those scholarships together, it gave her an amazing scholarship package in that. So you don't have to have perfect grades or perfect test scores. You just need to target the right colleges. And that's where we at azcollegeplanning.com can help, is identifying those types of schools where your student will stand out and get admitted and get some amazing scholarship packages. We can also do it with military academies. When Tanner came into the office, he says, JD, I want to fly jets for the Air Force. And I want to fly jets. And he said, I'm going to only apply to the Air Force Academy. I said, please apply to all of the military academies and apply to all the ROTC programs and have a backup plan. And he agreed to all that. And he did. And we scheduled a meeting and we were talking about his test scores. And he says, JD, I was doing some research on the Air Force's website, and the minimum ACT score is 24. I got a 25. What do you think? I said, they're going to take your application and they're going to throw it in the trash because you're just barely above the minimum. So we plugged him into our program called Beat the Test. And in the Beat the Test program, we showed him how to beat the test. There are specific strategies that you can employ as you're taking these tests to get better scores. He studied all those things and took the test, and he ended with a 29 ACT score, got admitted to the Merchant Marine Academy. And when we were handing out assignments, he said he wanted to fly jets for the Air Force and is flying jets for the Air Force. When Jonathan and I started the program in his freshman year of high school, we showed him how to market himself over the course of his freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year of high school over the course of those 4 years. And he applied to a handful of colleges. I think he applied to 8 or 9 schools. And George Fox University in Portland, Oregon, kind of rose to the top. In April of his senior year of high school, we were having a conversation, Jonathan, his parents and I, and his parents said, we are willing to give you a certain amount of money for you to go to college. We'll give you X. Anything above that, that's going to be on you, Jonathan. Go get a scholarship, get a grant, get a loan. Anything above that's going to be on you. And after what George Fox University offered in scholarships, plus what mom and dad were willing to spend, we were $5,000 short. So Jonathan says, I've got this great idea. I'll defer admission. And yes, you can do that. You go to the college's website and fill out the deferral form. And what they would do is they would hold your spot for 1 year, and then you can go the next year. Jonathan says, I'll defer admission for 1 year. I'll go get a job. I'll save up some money. I'll save up $5,000, and then I'll go to college the next year. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Work a year, go to college a year, take another year off, work another year, leapfrog it, and take 8 years to graduate? No. Here's what I would like you to do. Jonathan, I want you to call your admissions recruiter at that college. Jonathan, do you know who your admissions recruiter is? And now I'm asking him loaded questions because we had already instructed him on how to find who his recruiter was. Yes, I know who that is. I said, I want you to call them. Don't email. Call them on the phone and say this. Thank you for admitting me. My parents are willing to give to spend a certain amount of money, and thank you for the scholarships that you've offered. Based on the scholarships and what my mom and dad are willing to spend, I'm $5,000 short. What can we do? And poof, magically another $5,000 appeared, and he graduated in 4 years, not 8. Cole went to La Tech. He got 100% of tuition plus extra, covered a little bit of his dorm. Chad got admitted to Vandy, and when I was helping Chad identify colleges, I did suggest to Chad he should consider applying to Vanderbilt because he's got what Vanderbilt wants. And his mom pulls me aside and says, please don't encourage him to apply to Vanderbilt. Yeah, he'll probably get admitted, but we can't afford that. I said, let's play the game. End of the story, $231,000 in scholarships. Mom and dad's net cost $5,000 per year. And I got a very nice email from Chad's mom after that. Trevor went to TCU, $212,000 over the course of 4 years. He used the college's career center and landed a great internship. That internship turned into a job and is now working for a financial firm in Denver, Colorado. Super awesome for him. What's really great is not only did he get that job through the college, he graduated 100% debt free, and that's exactly where we want our students to start their lives. And this student, what about in-state schools? Yes, we can help out there as well. Trevor graduated from NAU. He graduated 100% debt free. Again, this is exactly where we want our students to start when they graduate, with zero debt or as low as possible. And I literally have hundreds of these examples. Jared was admitted to IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology, $39,000 in scholarships over the course of 4 years, $159,000. It was less expensive for him to attend this private out-of-state college than it would have been for him to go in-state. Loyola Chicago, we negotiated with this college, and they gave us $2,000 more per year, $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 more over the course of 8 years, on top of what they had already offered. I want to help tell your students' success story, and this is how we're going to do it. What we do at AZ College Planning is we have one-on-one meetings with the students. We help by offering personalized one-on-one meetings with compassionate guidance and motivating support that keeps your student on track and confident in their college journey. So we'll have one-on-one meetings with your student. We'll also have a couple parent meetings. The parent meetings more on the financial side, talking about your numbers and offering some ideas and some suggestions on that. And then I already mentioned we have some classes. One of the classes I mentioned already is the Beat the Test class. We have a How to Study class. We have the Marketing Influencer class, a resume class, the essay and application class, and a couple parent classes as well. All of those classes complement the one-on-one meetings. So if you'd like to come in for a free, complimentary, no obligation college consultation, please click on the link, or you can send me an email, jd@azcollegeplanning.com, and include your phone number that you can be reached at during the day. And when you come in, I will be very, very frank with you, and I will say, yes, I can help you, or no, I cannot help you. If I say, no, I cannot help you, I will point you in the right direction. This is what you need to do. Go this direction, do these things. If I say, yes, we can help you, then I already know that if your student follows our path, then they're going to get some amazing scholarships like I just showed you here. 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 in scholarships per year and more. One of the best scholarships that I had recently is I had a student get admitted to Columbia University, and she was offered $85,000 in scholarships each year. And she got that over the course of 4 years. Translate that, she went there for free. I got this text message, and I'll just read it to you. I got into Georgia Tech. Thank you for the 10-week plan you gave me. It helped me get into my dream school, which means a ton. I will be attending Georgia Tech in the fall, and I got $32,000 a year in scholarships. It was the best aid offer I got outside of ASU. 32,000 times 4 years is $182,000. Was it worth it for this family to hire us? The answer is yes. You only get one shot at getting college right. Don't leave it to chance. We are the nation's leading experts in admission and financial aid and guiding families with proven results since 2007. If you would like to explore how we can make a real measurable difference with college admission and college scholarships, please send me an email, jd@azcollegeplanning.com. Include your name, a daytime phone number, your student's high school graduation year, and I will reach out to you to schedule the free no obligation college consultation. Send it now to jd@azcollegeplanning.com. If you have any questions that I didn't address or didn't answer during this presentation, please send me an email. I'll be happy to answer those questions. jd@azcollegeplan.com. Thank you very much for attending. Have a wonderful evening. And again, send me that email, jd@azcollegeplan.com.
Can I get your email address? Can you send me your email address? I'm driving.
Yes,
Okay. As you forward the recording to me, send your email address.
I will do that.
Okay. I'll contact you later.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.